So this is officially my 3,826th day as a Mercuri consultant and last. And tomorrow I shall be an ex-Mercuri consultant. I don't know whether those 3,826 days have all been good Mercuri days against the rules of the 120%. I suspect some of them have not. But I guess what I do know is that over 100 customers have spent somewhere in the region of £1.9 million with Mercuri and myself over the last 10 years, from the small, insignificant and forgettable, such as Flowline and Cartons and places like Beresdorf, Pharmalytic, spent £400. Some of the ones that even I struggle to remember. Some of the ones that have been there for the whole journey, I guess. The Volax, the PerkinElmers, Brett, StatPlus, people who are still in contact with now. Right up to the big ones, right up to the very last one, which is bioMérieux, that I'm very pleased we managed to close before I left, and a project no doubt that will be ongoing for some considerable time after this. So a lot of water has gone under the bridge. I ran my last training course last week, and I guess it told me two things really. One of the things it reminded me how much I enjoyed it. In fact, I had a very nice, enjoyable 2 days, and I guess it told me that I will miss it more than I thought I would. And it also told me that I guess we forget how powerful some of our Mercuri stuff can be. And I saw that last week, and over the last 2 months, having gone around seeing customers for the last few weeks and thanking them for their contributions. What has been overwhelming really is the number of people that have been generally gratified with I've been generally gratified with the impact that Mercuri has had on their businesses, which I don't know for you, but certainly for me is one of the reasons that we put the effort in. So I shall miss it. So there we go. You've got that on record now. But I shan't be back quickly. But for those of you still there, you have something special. So nurture it, develop it. Some of the, I guess, some of the most enjoyable moments have been shared with colleagues. One of the things that all of you know about me is that over the 10 years I haven't flown a single mile, which is probably the only person who hasn't flown at least somewhere, even down to Georgia. I bet she's flown somewhere over the last 10 years of Mercuri. But actually some of those moments that have made me travel distances, I've been to Vienna, Strasbourg, Viana in Holland, Paris, Brussels, Antwerp, Gothenburg, Lüneburg, Frankfurt. All of these places have been travelled to via car, and Malaga equally by train. But all of those have been adventures, and thoroughly enjoyed by car. They would have been insignificant, and particularly the journey to Gothenburg I shall remember with fondness. 17 hours may seem like a long journey, but it was an adventure through 8 countries I'd never been to. And to have customers ringing me up en route just to see how I was going, some of them I think out of sheer curiosity to see whether I would make it, some of them to try and make sure they were keeping me awake, and even the shock on NYK's face was something to behold when they realised that not only had I said I was going to drive the 17 hours to Gothenburg, that I actually did do it and actually managed to get there on time. One of the other memories that I guess I wanted to bring up was a memory, another NYK memory actually, in Lüneburg in 2006. A drunken conversation with Nick Daly, who some of you may have met over a few beers on our last night of a Sales Leadership 2 program. Whilst we were having this debate, I think Nick bet me £20 that he could get all of his 10 sales managers into my Mini Cooper, which just happened to be parked in the car park several metres away. Everyone had had a couple of drinks, so we're willing to give it a go. And as you can see from the photos going past you at the moment, that was the end point. That was what happened. They won. I lost £20, but it was worth every penny. We laughed about it for some considerable time after that. A memory that Maura may remember from way back some time ago, probably 2000, was being confused for staff at a Little Chef, Maura, if you might remember. An old lady came up to me while we were paying for our coffees, asking if I would help, as there was some issue in the toilets with one of her friends having fallen. Maura was in stitches. I tried to explain to her that I wasn't part of the Little Chef staff. No help from Maura to actually convince her that was the case. In the end, I think we just had to leave. She wasn't going to take the message. And finally, another just a memory that I guess Andrew will always recall is, I guess, how sales process shouldn't be done, which relates back to Saint-Gobain in 2002. When asked the question by Nick Shanks, had we ever done any work with other pipe companies, Andrew and I looked at each other. I couldn't think of any examples, didn't really know the answer, so did what we tell other people not to do, which is, be honest, to say I don't know. We decided to not do that. We decided just to say no. We'd never done anything with any pipe companies before. At which point Nick Shanks turned the SPC brochure around that he'd been reading for the last 10 minutes, pointed at one of the success stories and said, "So you've never done anything with Europipe then?" Which was one of the success stories, which was a half-page spread on the SPC brochure. You can imagine Andrew and I's eyes were going back and forward, hoping one of us would pick up that particular hospital pass. But nevertheless, we still managed to win that piece of business. I still don't know to this day how. In fact, it's a good example of using timeouts. We used timeouts 3 times, I think, in that particular sales process. And in total, we worked out we were in an empty office for about 2 hours out of about 4-hour sales process. So there's a tip for any of you. If you want to win a big project, just ask for a timeout and then hide in the office next door. And there's a few people I just want to say thank you to. Mercury has been more really than just part of my life. It's been my life really, and there's no doubt that I would not have been married to the person I'm married to and have the family and house and everything else that I have now. That might be a bad thing actually. I should be perhaps criticising these people for actually ending up landing me where I landed. But in all seriousness, without Maura, who selected me for some reason out of a group of other graduate, young-faced consultants at a recruitment day, I owe a huge amount, Maura, to you, and I shall miss working with you and being in the office with you. And thank you for all that you've done. I've learned a huge amount from working with you over the years. And equally, I guess I need to make a special point of thanking Andrew, who again has been an unofficial mentor to me, I guess, a mental as well as mentor, and I guess he's kept me sane and insane to the right proportion, and we've had many an enjoyable evening going through some of the challenges we face and putting the worlds to rights, often when he hasn't been crying off, I should add, with Dave Cusden. And I should thank particularly Andrew for being there and always being a friend to call upon. So thank you for your efforts and times. And for everyone else, it's been a real pleasure working with you. I've been proud to be a Mercurian, and I wish you every success. Oh, yeah.